You are listening to the Sports and Sorts podcast.
Going back towards, looking up, see ya! 3,000 history.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Let's get ready to rumble!
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Montana. Looking, throwing in the end zone. 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Yes! This is episode 121, and this is Sports and Sorts with Shane. That's me.
And the Brian Man.
And we are here to bring you, as I said, episode 121 of Sports and Sorts. You can find us anywhere podcasts are played, where the audio version only is. iTunes, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, all those different places. Find us there. Tune in. You can also find us on our website at www.libsyn, or sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. What's the matter? Why are you shaking your head?
My dogs are barking incessantly.
That's amazing. It wouldn't be a show if it wasn't you,
No, if I didn't have some sort of pet peeve in the background, like a literal pet peeve going on.
That, I don't know.
You know what my pet peeve is? My pets.
It was brilliant to hear you in the intro. I listened to that probably a half a dozen times. Just you, swearing at your cat. You basically have an argument with your cat. You're like, get your up the stairs, and she's like, meow, and you're like, yeah, go. And she's like, meow.
I mean, in addition to our 3 regular kids, we treat our pets like kids. So there's a lot of kids in the house. They all get treated equally.
So glorious. That was amazing. All right, so we're here. We got a lot to talk about, NFL, what we've learned from this past Sunday. If there's anything that we've learned, sometimes we learn stuff, but we still are a little stubborn and don't continue to, register that learning into the next week. We don't implement it, what we've learned always, but we've learned some stuff, and we're going to talk about that. We got a new segment today with the Bry Man. We're not 100% certain on what we're going to call this segment yet, but we will figure it out sooner than later. And you might hear some different, phrases thrown out about this segment from time to time. So hopefully we'll get it done sooner than later. And, MLB. We got the play-in game for the play-in game. It's happening today. We're going to talk about it. We're going to give our picks for that as well. So we got NFL, MLB, all sorts of fun stuff. Who knows? Maybe some sorts will be thrown in there. I have no idea. But we got a great show. So let's go. Nope.
You are listening to the Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Brown Man.
All right. So I should probably look at the keyboard when I do that next time. Not quite as comfortable with it yet, just the feel of it, All right, so first thing to talk about today, obviously, is NFL. We got a lot to talk about. But the biggest thing I want to talk about first is basically because I am a prophet. I am a prophet because my sister just had her first child, a baby.
Yay!
So congratulations to my sister Ashley and my brother-in-law David on a healthy baby. I think it was 7 pounds 6 ounces.
Good health, good weight, good size, very nice.
And now I absolutely know right now. This is probably not true, but my nephew Everett William Neckenchuk is already watching this show because he wants to get his learn on. He wants to find out and know the real deal about all sports and sorts. He wants to listen to the soothing sounds of his Uncle Shane and the maniacal ranting of the Bry Man.
He may get some of that today, young Everett. He may be in for some.
So I am just glad you weren't swearing at your cat this morning like you were
Just if the cats don't make any noise and we don't talk about the Dolphins, I'll be fine. There'll be no angry ranting.
Well, I will tell you something. There is a little bit of Dolphins on the horizon, unfortunately.
Good.
A very small smidge of Dolphins. But we will be talking about all that kind of stuff. So, but what we've learned about this, what we're going to recap about what we've learned. I mean, Sunday Night Football happened just last night. Ravens at Pittsburgh.
I got that one wrong.
Yeah, we both got that one wrong. Wrong. So Ravens at Pittsburgh, the first half, of this, was like the game that we kind of both wanted, really. The game started off, Ravens came out, putting up some points, and then all of a sudden, Big Ben started to find Antonio Brown. The Steelers were moving the ball, and boom, they had 14 points on the board. It was incredible. And then the second half happened, and they looked lost. All the momentum they had built up went away, and they never scored again. There were two big things here that really kind of showed their face in last night's game for me and, for this particular Steelers team. And this is one thing that, I harped on last year a ton. You don't want to have Big Ben throwing the ball over 35 times on a regular basis in a game. The reason is he is prone to make mistakes. And even though he can make big plays, he also makes big plays happen for the opposition. Game 1, he had 41 attempts. Game 2, 60 attempts. Game 3, he had 38 attempts. That's the game they won. So he was close to 35 attempts that game. Yeah. Then, Game 4, he attempted 47 passes. What leads to him is him. He leads the league right now in passing yards with 1,414 yards. But he's got 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 4 fumbles. You don't want that. You don't want to have more turnovers than touchdowns. And you might be like, well, he's just gotten lucky this year with, some throwing a few more picks than usual. No, he has the absolute same interception rate per attempt, which is 2.7% that he has had for his career. That's the exact same number he's had for his whole career. And he has more turnovers than TDs. That's just not something you can have. It's, as the great Joe Girardi once said, it's not what you want. Second thing here is that kind of showed its face for me was this Steelers team, particularly on defense. Because you have Vance McDonald on offense, who's an absolute beast. He's a monster. I love watching that guy play. It's just so much fun to see him catch the ball. But this team is soft. Forget the steel curtain, hard-nosed football and all that stuff. This is strictly a finesse team on both sides of the ball now. And they get to completely put this on Tomlin. And don't even get me started on how this, they lead the league in penalties. Because they can't get their coordinators on the same page and they can't get their players on the same page. And that is all on Tomlin. What they really need to do is they need to trade Le'Veon Bell really quick, because they got to get some picks or some immediate help right now to help that defense because they are in rough shape.
Or somehow figure out a way to get him back on the field, which is not going to happen.
But I mean, missing Le'Veon Bell hasn't been the reason why they keep losing these games. Their defense, they're giving up almost 35 points a game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, but the optics of it overall are still bad. I mean, because bottom line is you could point to the Steelers' record, and you could say this is their record without Le'Veon Bell. Would he have made a difference? Would he have even accounted for? Would their record, instead of being whatever it is, 1-2-1, be 2-1-1? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Probably not. Not with the amount of points they're giving up. We talked about this before. We talked about this in weeks past. They're a sieve on defense. I don't see how they're going to improve in that area throughout the year. They're going to get worn down by teams with balanced attacks. And the Ravens are actually one of those teams. And I'll tell you what, that's a bad loss on a number of levels for the Steelers last night because not only did they lose to a division rival in a potential tie-breaking game, but they lost their home game. Now they have to try and go to Baltimore and get that one back. This just might not be the Steelers' division anymore. And you're right. The steel curtain is such a thing of the past for this team. I mean, let's be honest, that's a late 70s thing.
Yeah, but they still played raw.
No, I understand.
Yeah.
They have always prided themselves on being a blue-collar defensive team. That's always been their rep. But you're right. They are a finesse team. And last night they looked like a team that got bullied around by a physical opponent. And let's be honest, the Ravens are physical. There were a couple of guys, a couple of analysts early in this season who actually predicted that the Ravens would be kind of as good as they look right now, which is 3-1 team. And I thought that was ridiculous. I thought this team was going to be a mess. I thought Flacco was just going to be not whining necessarily because of the Lamar Jackson, draft pick, but I just thought they were going to be a little discombobulated and not very focused. And I didn't really love their offensive weapons. But you know what? That's a good team. They still play really good defense. I don't know, man. The Steelers are in trouble. If you're a Steelers fan, I don't see the problem is I don't see how it gets better. Where's the cavalry? Who's coming in to save this team? It's not going to be Le'Veon Bell. And even if it was Le'Veon Bell, it wouldn't matter because again, he's not playing defense.
Yeah.
So I don't know where the help is coming from the Steelers, but it's not a good look for them right now.
No, it's been really rough. This has been a bad start to the season for the Steelers, particularly with the way that the offseason started, having Le'Veon Bell, basically not suiting up at all and wanting a contract, them not giving it to him. And then he's just like out partying at clubs every night. And, and he's not really looking in the greatest shape right now. So even if he comes back, he's going to need weeks.
No, he's had a few tacos or something.
He's had a few tacos and washed it down with some, not light beer. Let's put it that way. He's drinking those heady toppers that you like to have. He's putting on some of the poundage there. So this is one of those situations that this is just a mess, and it all kind of, all of it kind of rises to the top, and at the top is Tomlin, and I don't know. It's not.
He may be on the hottest of hot seats. It's very possible.
Yeah. All right. So Joe Pacento comes in there, just puts his "Let's go Yankees" in there. Absolutely, we can't wait to talk about them. We're going to have Chris Corelli on the show on Wednesday. We're going to talk a bunch of Yankees because they're obviously playing that day. We're talk about them. We're going to have Chris Corelli coming on to talk about the Yankees because he writes for SNY and he covers the Yankees. So we'll get his opinion on what's going to go on in that game as well.
If you love baseball, Wednesday will be a baseball-heavy show.
Yes, we will be talking about the Thursday night football game, and that's pretty much it for football on Wednesday, and then it's going to be completely, utterly baseball. A lot of Yankees and a lot of other stuff. Whoa. All right, here we go. Whoa. If he was drinking heady, he better be making better decisions.
I knew Timmy was going to weigh in on the heady topper thing. I agree with that.
Yeah, well, you know what? He's not making good decisions. So...
Hey, Timmy, you know what beer would really help Le'Veon Bell? Focal banger. See what I did there? Focal. He would focus. No, forget it.
No, yeah.
It didn't work.
Right.
They're not all winners. They can't all be winners.
I wish I had the crickets available. I don't know if I have the crickets anymore, but that would have been good.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So, that's pretty much it. We don't really have to cover much more. We don't have to really cover much more of football right now. That's pretty much it. I mean, for Sunday Night Football, we kind of really touched on that. Tomlin has just been a mess. The team's been a mess, and this has been going on for years now. And even though they were 13-3 last year, it didn't. This always comes down to preparation. And that team had the team to be able to go all the way last year. And when it came down to last-minute drives, they were not on the same page. They were constantly bickering and arguing and stuff like that on the line, trying to figure out where to go, and they just couldn't make decisions. It's been brutal to watch them. All right, so let's move on. A lot of football was played on Sunday, and we don't have time to tackle all the games, but we have a quick segment here. And we're not really sure what we're going to call this yet. We have the Bryman's Quick Cuts. We could take it to the barbershop, Bryman's Barbershop, and where he gives you the quick cut. I don't know. There's a lot of different things that we could come up with. We're not really sure yet. But the Bryman will give his quick initial reactions to these several questions or topics. All right. So you ready, man?
I'm ready. I'm completely unprepared for this because I don't know what you're going to ask
You
me.
have no idea. No idea.
No, not a clue.
It's got to be. They got to be quick reactions. Just a quick initial reaction. What's on your mind, and spit it out. One of these times I could give you a question. You could at the end of it, you could just be like orange juice. Like that's what's going to happen sometimes because you're not going to know what to say in that quick a time.
Wait. Is it orange juice my safe word? All right, orange juice is OJ is my safe word. Oh no, wait, no, that's not good. OJ is not a safe word. We need to come up with a better safe word.
Especially when you're talking football. All right, so let's
my safe word is Kavanaugh.
So you have,
no.
Did you see that, Matt Damon?
Matt Damon? Oh, it was great. It was so great. It was so great.
Phenomenal. Oh, I watched it last night. It was a mistake to watch it right before I went to bed because I was laughing hysterically.
Oh, I was laughing hysterically.
Yeah,
it was so great.
All right, if you guys haven't seen that, go check it out. Go to SNL. SNL has a great app, by the way.
Real quick, what's scary about that segment though is that Matt Damon's performance was not over the top. It was actually, in terms of script, in terms of like the stuff that Brett Kavanaugh was saying, it was like really, really close.
Yeah. I like beer.
I like beer. I like
American beer.
Working out with my friend, my friend Tobin's dad's house.
Squee. Donkey Dong Doug.
Donkey.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
We have 2 minutes here. We have 2 minutes.
Okay.
Give you that's it. We only have 2 minutes to do this next subject. All right. So first topic up. Ready?
Yes.
Mitch Trubisky's 6 touchdowns against the Bucs.
Well, I've got 2 thoughts there. One, if you had him on fantasy and you played him, good for you. Thought number 2, Patrick Mahomes is sitting at home right now saying, hold my beer. Because he's not going to be happy about that. He ain't going to be happy. Don't forget about Gangbang Gary. Yes.
Oh, God. That was a great skit.
Okay, next topic.
All right, next topic. Packers shutting out the Bills 22-0.
I guess it's back to reality for the Bills, huh? Hey, look. The good news is you're right back in there for the number 1 overall pick.
Yes, we are. Thank you for the Raiders getting their win last week. All right, Patriots stomping on the throats of the Finns.
Okay, so what I just said about the Bills, you can apply right to the Dolphins because they're right back to reality too. Same old Dolphins. Nothing ever changes in that script.
Still first in their division.
Well, what's funny about that is I went on Facebook yesterday morning and I predicted 37-20 Patriots. I was only off 1 point on the Pats. They scored 38. I gave the Dolphins too much credit. But it wasn't close, and I'll tell you what, the refs. At first, yesterday early, I was gonna come on and rant about the referees handing this game to the Patriots. But you know what? The referees only helped the Patriots out very, very early in the game, and then after that, the Dolphins just turned to stone. That was tough to watch.
Timmy. They are.
Timmy. Here's my reaction to the Devil's Triangle: drinking game.
All right. The best rookie quarterback so far this year.
Do you?
No, I don't consider Patrick Mahomes a rookie quarterback.
Okay. What about Mitch Trubisky? Also not a rookie quarterback?
Drafted this year. You got 3 that are playing.
What was it? So what? Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Josh Allen.
Oh yeah, and Josh and Baker Mayfield.
Just from like an optics perspective, because I just love the way he throws the ball and I love his arm. Although I'm wondering if some of the Browns receivers can even handle him, but it's Baker Mayfield for me.
Okay, all right. Titans beating the Eagles.
Super Bowl hangover for the champs. I don't know what else to say. They look very mortal. I thought they would be better on defense. They looked good early on defense, and then the Titans were allowed to storm back, and suddenly the Titans are a 3-1 team. So Super Bowl hangover in Philly.
All right. John Gruden's first win in 10 years.
That was a wild game. It took an awful lot just for them to come back and win that game. I guess the headline is what? Return of Chucky?
Yeah.
Chucky returns, sure. But it took 4 games to get there.
Cool. All right. Khalil Mack, 4 games and 4 strip sacks.
He's your defensive MVP, if not maybe in the conversation for overall MVP at this point. What he has done to that Bears, not just the offense, but that team in general, there's a different feeling about the Bears now. When the Bears come to town, you're scared. Mm-hmm. And you should be. Because on defense, I'll tell you what, that team on defense they have a championship caliber defense. I don't know if their offense can keep up, but on defense, that team can hang with anybody.
All right. Tyler Eifert's injury.
Oh my God. First of all, it was so I watched it live because I actually happened to have that game on because I turned the Dolphins game off because I couldn't anymore. So I turned it off and I was watching that game live and I felt the chunks rise a little bit when I saw it. Mm-hmm. And I remember texting our friend Tim Callahan and saying, I just saw Tyler Eifert's season end. And then he actually came back to me and he's like, was it knee, ankle, or concussion? And I said, oh, it was ankle. I mean, that was one of the more.
Was it Gordon Hayward?
It was gruesome.
Yeah, brutal.
Gruesome to watch, man. Oh, these guys rolling up on people's ankles in the NFL. I mean, what can you do? There's nothing you can do about it. But seriously, though, I feel bad. I really feel for Tyler Eifert, man. I mean, that guy has just been dealt the toughest of hands. Mm-hmm. And man, I don't know.
All right, last one on the board.
Okay.
The phrase used, "We're not playing to tie."
Wow.
That's all you have to say is wow.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Well, we're going to be getting into the Indianapolis Colts right next.
And I like Frank Reich, but all of America was saying, "What were you thinking?" Because the play before, he tried the hard snap to draw him off sides. It didn't work. Then he doubles down. He goes out there again, but actually snaps the ball. I mean, did you really think you were going to catch the Texans off guard trying to do it 2 plays in a row? Honestly, that is one of the worst head coaching calls I've ever seen. And then then you've got all the players. And look, I appreciate the players coming to their coaches, coming to his aid and saying, "Hey, we love that he did that. We don't want to play to tie." I get that you don't want to play to tie, but in the grand scheme of things, a tie there is you're better off being 1, 2, and 1 than being 1 and 3. Because I think that's how it turns out now, right? Aren't the Colts 1 and 3 now?
Yes.
Your playoff chances just exponentially went down.
Okay. Well,
it's honestly one of the worst coaching calls I've ever seen.
Okay.
In the regular season.
So speaking of which, in other exciting football news, a hot topic out there was the decision made by the Indianapolis coach for head coach Frank Reich, as Brian was just talking about. Now, as a bit of a lead-in, he went for it on 4th down, like you had said. He didn't get this the way he was. He didn't really get this. I don't know. His defense was going to be put in a very precarious position if he didn't get it. And this is an overtime with not much time left on the clock. So this is what Frank Reich had to say at the end of the game, just during his press conference.
Yeah, I'll just address it now. I mean, we're not playing to tie. I mean, we're going for that 10 times out of 10. I mean, that's just the way it's got to roll.
All right, so that's what he said right there, and
boy, he's he's doubling and tripling down on stupidity.
And
I like Frank Reich. I'm actually a really big fan of his. Oh my god!
And I think, and look, everyone is out there killing Frank Reich, and to be honest, I think that if this is the way he has been intending to coach the whole time, and you have Andrew Luck, his quarterback, completely backing his coach's situation. Now, Andrew Luck backs anybody and everybody.
But the players are always going to have that attitude, always.
Yeah, and that's fine. And if this is the way he's going to coach, sometimes you're gonna hate the result, but other times you're gonna love it. And I actually blame this game more on Andrew Luck than anyone else, because that was one throw that he absolutely had to make, and he made a terrible throw and gave the receiver zero chance to catch the ball. And also, if he made that throw, that was a fairly easy catch to make. Now, and I'm not going to say that, it's what I would want my head coach to do in that particular spot, but I do give him some props for being true to his saying, win or go home. And in reality, I don't feel like this loss versus a tie is going to make or break the Colts season this year, because I didn't expect them to make the playoffs this year anyway. Because, to be honest, Andrew Luck is coming back off an injury where he hasn't played in like 2 years. His shoulder has had some issues. He threw the ball a crap load this last game, which is good sign for his shoulder. Hopefully next game you won't see him like throwing about, nothing but dink and dunk 10-yarders. But I don't feel like this really did anything. But I really hope something similar happens within the next few weeks and he goes for it and gets it done. And he wins the game.
But it won't redeem what happened yesterday.
But I don't care if it redeems it. I just want this to come out of the press conference, and I want him to come out the next press conference, and I want him to be in the media and say this.
Ricky Bobby, today's big winner. A heck of a win for you today, but it seems as if you either win or crash the car trying to win.
Well, Dak, here's the deal. I'm the best there is, plain and simple. I mean, I wake up in the morning, I piss excellence, and nobody can hang with my stuff. I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
That's what I want him to come out and say next time.
Oh, boy.
Ricky Bobby. Come on, baby. All right, so we can move on past Frank Reich and him and his decision to go for it, fourth down in his own.
I mean,
time.
I would like to hear Frank Reich say, "I piss excellence." It would be definitely would be funny.
That was great. All right, so we each picked 2 games last week. The Brian Man went 2 for 2. I went 1 for 2. And then we both picked the Steelers on Sunday night, and we just talked about that. We saw how that went. So I can mark the wins on the board now.
Yes.
I only got one more win. I got one more win and 2 more losses.
So I picked up a game.
You didn't pick up a game. You're taking.
Well, I added a game.
Extended lead. Yes.
Yes.
You are.
What is my lead at now?
You
my
have
plus 3?
You have 9. You have 9 victories, and I have 6.
Oh wow! Plus 3. Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's going. It's going. All right. So we will. Oh, we keep the Jazz on there for profiling purposes. Is that a Ricky Bobby thing? I don't know. I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means?
No.
No.
I was kind of hoping you would just ignore it because I didn't know what it meant. It probably was Ricky Bobby, but I don't know. I don't have Talladega Nights completely memorized. There's only so much room in there.
All right. So we each picked 2 games. I said you beat me again this week. It's been a trouncing so far this year. I just got to come up and maybe we should start picking the games for each other, giving each other hard games. Like you have to take these 2, I have to take these 2, and go for it that way. So
I don't mind doing that. I don't mind doing that I wouldn't want to do that all year, but I don't mind doing that like. Maybe the Halloween segment,
Okay. All right. So then we're gonna go real quick. We're gonna throw out our commercial for just a few seconds. We'll be back after that, and then when we come back, we will be talking a little MLB, which I'm pretty excited about. We got some playing games that are happening in just a few hours, so we'll be talking about that in just a few seconds. Right after this. See you in a few seconds.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bryman. 75% sports and 25% sorts.
All right. So we are back. The first thing I want to talk about real quick is before we move on, I usually say right here, go ahead and please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't already, share it. Tell your sports-loving friends to head on over. Check us out. Basically because this is a dog-eat-dog world out here in the podcast world. And although we are hanging in there pretty well, you've helped us increase our downloads every month. And this last month, we almost doubled our previous month's totals. So thank you for helping getting the word out.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it because we cannot do this alone. So keep commenting, putting in your 2 cents, making fun of us when we screw up, putting in quotes and stuff like that from movies that we just don't remember. And then, obviously, it's the jukebox in the bar. We keep the jazz on here for just profile. Yes, I get it. I get it now. I remember that scene. So, like I said, keep commenting. Whatever you're doing, we will, we know we're not perfect. We will dish it. We will take it. Except for the Bryman's fluffy beard face. That thing is perfection. Absolutely perfection.
It's in full bloom right now.
He actually referred to it as on fleek when we.
Yes, it's there. We're in a good stage now. First day of October, and it's going. It goes till Christmas now. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping it. So I may have to measure, like maybe before Wednesday's show. Maybe I'll just see how long it is right now, and then we'll do another check like right around Christmas. Yeah.
All right. But other than all that, let's just have fun with this together. Talk some sports 75% of the time, and some other sorts of things 25% of the time. All right. So we got a lot of MLB to talk about today. We have 2 games that have to be played, so that 2 of the 4 teams left standing can get into the wild card game to play one more game to actually get in the playoffs. All right. First up is the Chicago Cubs versus the Brew Crew. They're playing the game in Chicago with Jose Quintana on the mound for the Cubbies. And is it still undecided who's pitching for the Brewers? Did they decide that yet? Because as of 11 o'clock last night, there still was nothing.
I don't know if we have maybe they're going with the bullpen approach. I will take a look.
Timothy St. Andrew. It's a nice beard, but I wouldn't go through airport security with him.
It's true. I do but they pull me over all the time. All the time. In fairness, I'm half Lebanese. That's going to happen. It's true. I do. I'm always pulled off to the side. They give me the wand, and then I've got the calf compression sleeve, because I've got bad genetics from my mother, and so they're always like, well, what's that thing? And then I have to explain it, and then they're like, so it is chassin.
Oh, okay, all right. So I think that this is going to be the Cubbies hands down, and I'll give a couple of reasons why. One. A lot of these Brewers do not have the playoff experience and might be a little overly hyped to get, and get worn out early. But that's not the biggest reason why, I think, because that can shift either way. You can either be super hyped up and, just absolutely destroy the opponent because you don't know what you're really getting yourself into. But I think the biggest reason for me is the man on the hill for the Cubs, and that's Jose Quintana. He has owned the Brewers' best player, Christian Yelich, who is having an MVP-type season. He's batting .323, 36 home runs, 109 RBIs. And I don't know, if because this is still technically the regular season, is it counted as the regular season?
This is game 163, yeah.
He could potentially, if he has a huge game, he could potentially win the Triple Crown.
Yes. Yes, him and Baez has a 2 RBI lead on him.
Right. So if he has a big game, he could potentially win.
If he has 3 RBIs and Baez doesn't have any, sure.
Because I don't think he's leading in home runs either, is he?
He's tied. He's tied with Carpenter, so that would he could outright win both. Let's put it this way: if he hits a 3-run home run in this game, that's it. Yeah, and Baez doesn't do anything.
So, and as of right now, this year in 2018, Jose Quintana has owned him. Christian Yelich is only 1 for 11 off of him. And Lorenzo Cain has actually hit Quintana pretty well, I think at like a 290 clip, but I just don't see that being enough. And having Quintana on the hill could take their best hitter out of play. And, of course, Quintana has actually played better. He's pitched much better at Miller Park this year in particular than he has in Chicago. But with all the offensive weapons behind Quintana and, the big-time clutch performers like Javier Baez and, even Zobrist, they have so many people that perform in the clutch. And Javier Baez loves the spotlight. So with all of that on this big stage, I just have to, give this one to the Cubs because I don't see the Brewers, as much as a fun season they've had, and Christian Yelich has just been playing amazing, out of bounds baseball. I just don't see it being enough, especially with having the lefty Quintana up against that, Yelich, who's not performed well against him this year.
Yeah, we were talking about this earlier on the text group, and the question was actually posed: who do you want to win? And I said I want the Rockies and the Brewers to win today.
Right.
If we are actually making predictions about who we think is going to win, yeah, no, it's hard to pick against the Cubs at home. I mean, you don't like the way that this season has ended for the Cubs because they really should have locked this up and they let the Brewers right back in. Mm-hmm. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great for us as fans. I love it. I love that, at 1 o'clock today, we're going to have 6 to 7 straight hours of really intense baseball. But I would have to say it's hard. It's just hard. Honestly, it's hard to pick against both of the home teams in these games. So I've given you a little bit of a spoiler as to where I'm going with the Rockies-Dodgers game too. But yeah, Quintana has pitched well. He has shut Yelich down. I want the Brewers to win just because I think that's a great story, them on the road winning. And I would love to see Yelich actually hit that 3-run homer or drive in it. I'd love to see him win the Triple Crown. That is it just doesn't happen often. Triple Crown, and Yelich is actually my MVP regardless of what happens today. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think the Cubs win. I think the Cubs win this game. I don't see them losing at home in a big game like this. Too much playoff experience. It'll be
fun to watch, that's for sure. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what happens. And it would be the dramatics could be amazing if Christian Yelich comes up 0 for 3, bottom of the ninth, men on first and third.
Yeah.
And he's Javier Baez hasn't really done anything. They're down by 1 or 2.
Yeah, it would be great.
That'd be amazing because the only way they could do it is if he hits a 3-run bomb. It would just be. It could. Be tremendous.
You know what's funny is that he really could cement the MVP today. He really could. This one game, mm-hmm. He could do it. I mean, if that situation right there plays out, and let's be honest, we've seen a lot weirder stuff in baseball. But if that situation played out, let's say he delivered there, and then the Brewers held on in the ninth, he's your MVP. He'd be the Triple Crown winner, and he would have delivered. On game 163, he would have delivered the division title.
So I just
kept you out of the wild card game.
I just looked it up. He is tied with Yelich, Story, and Carpenter, but Arenado has 37 home runs. So he is technically 2 behind.
Right. So I mean,
Arenado has a game today too. So
yes.
This could be like he has a great game. He goes 2 home runs.
MVPs could be decided today.
Yeah. Huh?
All over the place.
It's
because Arenado should be in that discussion too.
Story's had a great season as well. I mean,
is Javi Baez in the MVP discussion? I don't think he is. I mean, I guess he is. I guess he is, but I don't know. I mean, a lot of people. I hate that. By the way, I hate the idea that Jacob deGrom is in the MVP. I'm sorry. I'm just really anti. The pitchers have their own award.
No, he doesn't deserve an MVP.
No, absolutely not. But he's in that discussion.
His team didn't win any of the games he pitched. He pitched 30-something games, and they only won 9.
I know. It's just, yeah, right.
You can't give him the MVP. I mean,
no.
If
he is the Cy Young winner.
His team was as bad as they were, and he won 22 games. Even if his team won 20 of his 22 games of his 30-something odd starts, then you can make a case for it. But no, not with 9 wins.
I just want to now. Didn't our friend of the program, Damian Dyden, actually?
Yes, he posted on a page. He said he's definitely going to get the Cy Young, but is he worth it? But we're not going to talk about Cy Young and MVP today. We're going to do that on Wednesday.
No, but I mean, didn't he actually cast his vote for DeGrom?
I don't know if he did. I didn't see if he did in the comments. But he said, is he worth the MVP? Is he an MVP? He's he's going to get the Cy Young, but is he MVP? I don't know of what he said.
He is not the MVP.
No, I could not give that to him. I wouldn't even give him a consideration just because of teams are so bad and they did not win when he was on the mound.
I think your top 3 guys are playing in games today.
Yeah, whether it was about him or not, they just didn't win when he was on the mound. So you didn't really have much of an impact. So I mean, even though he had a great season, he's definitely a Cy Young.
I think he's got that locked up.
I mean, I could make it. I can, and I might make a case for Max Scherzer.
Yeah,
because
sure.
300 Ks again.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I mean, his stats across the board are not that much different than DeGrom's.
Scherzer almost feels like Trout to me now. Like you could give him the award almost any year, but
probably, yeah.
But like sometimes you just have to say, okay, this guy just had an outstanding season. We're going to give it to him just to change things up.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So let's get into here with the next game. Next game up is the Rockies with starting pitcher Marquez with a record of 14-10, 3.76 ERA, 221 Ks. It's a lot of Ks, and a WHIP of 1.2 going into LA to face the Dodgers and Walker Buehler.
Yeah, I can't pick against a guy named Buehler. I just can't do it.
He was 7-5 this year. Not a huge record, but he pitched I think 22 starts, 2.76 ERA, and he Ks over 9 per 9, has a .98 WHIP. Throws hard. This could be a great matchup. Who do you got?
No, I got the Dodgers. Again, if you're asking me who I want to win both of these games, I want the Brewers and the Rockies to win. Those are the teams I'm rooting for, just because I think that would be more fun. And as Yankee fans, we're already rooting for the evil empire chalk kind of team in sports, right? So if we're going to root for that, for other teams, especially in the National League, where as of right now I don't really care, I'm going to root for the underdogs. I mean, it's hard not to. But if you ask me who I think is going to win in LA, Buehler, I got the Dodgers winning this game. Yeah. I mean, I love that the Rockies forced this game. I love that the Brewers forced this game. But on both accounts here, again, teams with just major playoff experience, it's hard not to pick these home teams.
Yeah. For me, and I'm right with you, because I feel like this really depended on where they were playing. And if they were playing in Colorado, I probably would have given the nod to the Rockies. And if they're playing in L.A., in La La Land, it goes to the Dodgers. I really like Marquez a lot. But
the Cubs might have been the only team I wouldn't have picked against regardless of location.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, that's maybe. But, this one, even though I like Marquez a lot, I just feel like this all has to do with home field advantage and a guy named Buehler who pitches better at home. I mean, he actually pitches, I think, a good full run better at home, his earned run average. And the last time he faced the Rockies, which wasn't too long ago, it was like a week ago, he went 6 innings, walked 1, K'd 12, only gave up 3 hits. And I don't expect him to have another amazing outing like that, but I do expect him to go at least 5, pitch well, and the dude, like I said, throws hard. He's like an average velocity of like 97 miles an hour, has tons of rotations on his ball. The dude has just got good stuff. And as long as the spotlight doesn't overwhelm him, and, since his nickname is Ferris and his last name is Buehler, I doubt it, because Ferris Bueller does not get overwhelmed by the spotlight. So based on that movie analogy alone, I have to give the Dodgers the win. So that's where I'm at there. I would like the Rockies to win this just because I want to see Nolan Arenado in the playoffs. I want to see Trevor Story in the playoffs.
You'll get to see him in the playoffs. The question is, will it be for one game or maybe more?
But I want to see them actually in the playoffs. Like, this isn't a playoff.
The play-in game.
The play-in game, and it's play-in game for the play-in game. Like, right. I mean, it's the wild card elimination game is the playoffs technically, but it's really a play-in game to get into the playoffs.
The question I have about these games is, to what extent are you willing to go to win them? So, in other words, when I ask that,
everything. You have to throw everything.
I mean, I was going to say, so like, is Kershaw available?
He's got to be.
Yeah, okay.
Because it's win or go home. I mean, you'll be able to use him. I mean, you have to, right?
Well, it's not really win or go home. You lose the game, you play in the play-in game. So you're not eliminated. This is just to determine the division winners, but the losers will play each other in the playoff game, the wild card game. No, I'm with you though. I agree because I think you do. I think you want to win this game almost at all costs because as long as if you win the game and you get yourself into at least a 5-game divisional playoff,
that probably makes sense.
So what
it's probably not all like unload everything because you still have another opportunity, I guess. And then that game would be unload everything, but I don't know.
I think it really just depends on the situation.
I think because if it's any of these teams get up to a big lead, I think they're just gonna.
No, big lead. Then you're not going to see guys like Kershaw.
If it's close,
but that's what I'm saying. Like it's close. Yeah. I mean, maybe you bring Kershaw in just to face the lefty or something. If in a tight spot.
Maybe
it's just like maybe he's going to be pitching reliever. I don't know.
He's got to be pitching the elimination game, so I can't imagine that they would bring him in.
Well, that's the other risk too, because what if you bring the guy in and you still lose the game?
Yeah, that would be.
And then you got to play a wild card game in a couple days.
Yeah, that could be rough.
This will be. I hope to see some of those situations because this is what managers get paid for. Right. So I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Once again, if you're watching the show right now, if you could give us a quick thumbs up, like the video, we really appreciate it because it helps us get the word out. I accidentally clicked this and I opened up that, and there we go. All right, so if you can do that, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us get the word out. It's something that commenting and giving us a thumbs up, 2 huge things that help this show. All right, and sharing, of course, obviously, sharing. And if you don't want to share it on your personal page, just tell some of your sports-loving friends, Just be like, hey, check out these guys. See if you like them. Maybe you don't. I don't know.
Or your sports-loving friends.
Yeah. People that like movies. They tune in. We talk movies. We talk TV. We do all that stuff from time to time.
You talked a little SNL today. Even like a tiny bit of politics, I guess, technically.
Yeah, sometimes. A little bit. A little smidge here and there. All right. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it for our show. We have Chris Corelli coming on, talking
SNY.
We have Chris Corelli coming on to talk. He's a writer for SNY, covers the Yankees for SNY. We have him back on the show. You can follow him on Twitter at Chris CHRIS _ Corelli CARELLI. Follow him on Twitter. We will be giving you our MVP, our Cy Young picks. And maybe we'll even ask him that what he's got for MVP and Cy Young picks. I don't know what he's got out there.
Yes, I think we should.
And we will also be talking to him about we will be talking to him mostly about the Yankees. So it'll be about 15-20 minutes where we're just kind of focusing on the Yankees. That's what he specializes in. He knows the team in and out. Follow him on Twitter if you like the Yankees because he has a lot of good posts. He's constantly interacting with people on there. Is a really good follow. All right. And then other than that, is there anything else that you wanted to kind of touch on before we left?
I'm just very excited that we have now entered October, my favorite month of the year.
It is glorious.
It's just a combination of great baseball memories. The season itself it's so great. I love sleeping in this weather. You got the windows open, that crisp, cool air is just, it's just tremendous. So happy that fall is here. I'm so happy that October's here. I don't think we're gonna like the baseball result in a couple of nights, unfortunately. But so it could end. That part of it could end very soon. But other than that, welcome October. It's great. It's great to have you back, fall. Good beer. Oh, the beer. Me and Squee are gonna have a few beers.
Oh,
I like beer. I like beer. There we go.
All right, so Yankees playing on Wednesday night.
Hey, if we hear Sinatra, it's a good night.
You're not going, right?
No.
I'm not going to be going to this one either. Is anybody from the text train? They going?
Maybe Joe, but I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so. I think we will try if they get by this game. Mm-hmm. I think we will somehow try to get a Boston ticket, but man, those would be expensive.
And before, we said who's played the best as a rookie quarterback, and you gave yours. He goes to everything. He really does. He shows up, and he parties. He does. So before, when we were talking about who's performed as the best quarterback as a rookie, and we were talking about Darnold and Rosen and Baker and all. Jay Palermo wrote Mayfield. He thinks Mayfield has performed the best, and you could easily make a case for him. I really, really liked the way that Rosen performed in the second half yesterday. He was throwing dimes. I mean, the guy was on point when it counted, and I'm not going to say that the Arizona Cardinals are going to win a bunch of games, but I expect them to probably win a handful of games this year. So, oh God, Timmy, I'm not even going to put that one on there.
Timmy is attacking the Devil's Triangle today. He really is going after the Devil's Triangle hard.
Oh,
drinking game.
Drinking game. It's a drinking game.
I like when Matt Damon was violently drinking the water.
I've never. It was going on. Yeah, that was amazing. He absolutely was. I like it when they asked, "Can you please squinch your mouth up to the tightest, smallest mouth that you've ever seen?" And looking extremely angry at this paper. Read. Yes, read very angrily. Mikey Pacetto.
Hey, Mikey.
Go Yankees. Yes.
We may have to do some cross-pollinating for Mikey. Mikey's got a podcast and a series of podcasts actually. I think the original one, I think they're expanding to 5. Mm-hmm. You can correct me if I'm wrong on this, Mikey. They have one podcast. I think the original one is called Batter's Box Podcast, but I think they're expanding it to 5 different ones. So I think they're going to have hockey, baseball, football, basketball, and then maybe one other one in there. I don't know if they're doing college sports or something like that, but
that's a lot.
Yeah. They have a family of podcasts.
Yeah, that's a lot. That makes me cringe just thinking about all the work that it takes.
Yes, I know.
It makes me want to I seriously, I'm getting my heart palpitations. I'm starting to sweat.
Are you having a panic attack?
Yes.
Yeah, Batter's Box is the original. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, go ahead and check him out. It's a new one, best of 5 sports. New one is best of 5 sports.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, all right. We got all that. Is there anything you want to hear on the way out?
Something that would remind me of this wonderful month of October. What do you got? Come on, DJ. Okay. DJ A1C. Let's see what you got. Test them skills.
I got it. Hold on. Give me a second.
Okay.
Where is it?
I'm going to try and fill the dead air with just normal chatter.
I typed it in, but
I don't know what to say.
Hold on.
I'm at a loss right now.
You're doing a great job.
I'm not doing it really well right now. Could I do my bad Donald Trump impression? Nah, I don't want to do a Donald Trump impression. Let's see. I still have a lot of work to do on that one. That one's not. It's not fully baked yet. Something pumpkin spice for Brian. I agree with that, Clint. Good call. Yes. What do you have? Do you have? Is there a pumpkin song?
Hold on. Ready?
Okay. Wait for it.
Wait. I got.
Wait for it.
I'll get something here.
You know, it'd be great if one of my animals made a noise right now to distract from the dead air. But of course, Yoda's decided not to bark. The cats are not meowing. They're resting comfortably on the couches over there. Ridiculous. The one time when I need the animals to do something, they're useless.
Yeah, it's not going great. But
it's not really working out well.
See, the problem is that I don't have. I don't.
You know, I asked for an autumnal mead kind of song, and you couldn't come up with anything.
No, I'm really.
You could just play that commercial, the autumnal mead commercial from Bud Light.
This will get you in the fall. You ready? The Monster Mash. I thought about playing that. I didn't want to. Is
this Thriller?
The German beer song? A German beer song?
You could have played the Halloween theme music. That would have worked. There you go. Beautiful. Thank you. I love it. That's a good way to play us out.
All right. So, yes, you can find this podcast. We go live every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday at
18
Facebook.com.
days away, by the way.
Facebook.com/Shane and the Bryman. We go live. Monday, 9:45. Wednesday, 11. Saturday, 9:45. You can also, we have our podcast, which is on iTunes, all sorts of different places. You can find it at www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com. You can find us anywhere. TuneIn, iTunes, all those places. iHeartRadio. We have our podcast everywhere that podcasts are played pretty much. You can also find us on YouTube if you just type in Sports and Sorts, the ampersand sorts on YouTube. And all of our videos, they eventually get loaded up onto YouTube a little bit later, same day that we release them. But other than that, our podcast will be out there soon. Please go ahead. If you didn't get the chance to listen to the whole show, go ahead and listen to it there. And give us some more downloads because we've been doing well. We've been having a lot of downloads. I really appreciate all the help getting those downloads. And it's so creepy saying all my words to this.
Love it.
I will say, I'm not going to go see it, but the trailers do look good.
You're not going to see it?
No.
Oh. I'm there on opening night. IMAX.
I'm not a horror guy. I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
Ugh, Timmy and I will be there together.
Good. It should get support because it does look good.
It's going to make big money in that opening weekend.
It should. It looks good. Which is the main reason why I won't go. But if Medea comes out with another Halloween movie, I will be there. You and your
Boo movies.
Oh, Medea's Halloween. Oh, so good. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you for watching. Where
can they find you on Twitter?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at EinhornSfinkel.
You can find me on Twitter.
Finkel.
Yes. You can find me on Twitter at _Bry_man.
Very good. Find the show at Shane and Bryman. You can find us on Facebook.com/Shane and the Bryman.
Again, and anywhere podcasts are sold.
And anywhere podcasts are played. You don't have to buy it. We just give our stuff away free. Should we start a one of those accounts? There's what are they called? Where people
GoFundMe. GoFundMe. Yeah, GoFundMe for Shane and the Bryman.
Yeah. So we can improve, and I can start, paying like my brother to like make commercials and stuff.
Really want a sponsor?
Yeah, that would be great. And if we could keep getting these downloads going the way that they're going, you got to get to a magic number.
Yeah, you're right. We got to get the magic number, and then we have to show it to Dunkin' Donuts or Dunkin'. Sorry, just Dunkin'.
No, not until January.
The amount of coffee that I drink from that place is just absurd. I mean, we got to cash in on that. Yeah, thank you, Clint. Let's crowdfund this thing.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. The crowdfunding. Yes, yeah, the crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding.
Yes.
Yeah.
We might get there eventually because if we're going to need to up our quality. And the
only way you're doing that is if you're replacing two of us.
I have dumped so much money into this thing. Bryman knows because I was like, we got to cut down the show on this point because we're running out of space on the podcast. I'm not paying any more on the podcast side of things. So I had to keep lowering the quality, the auto quality on our old shows so that I could make room for new shows. It's a struggle.
If you think anybody will pay us to do this, let us know.
Yeah. I like I said a couple shows ago, I said out loud to the world, we will provide free entertainment. Free advertising for now. It's free entertainment too, but free advertisement for now. So we will do that for a little while. When we hit my magic number, which is double where we are right now, then it will change because that's real deal. So we'll see where this one goes. We'll see what this month goes, and if we start averaging more and more and more. It's been slowly increasing, and then this last week just doubled. So that was great.
Yeah.
He said, "I'll give you $1 just so today's show can be brought to you by me."
Today's episode, 121 of Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bryman, was brought to you by Timothy St. Andrew.
Who wanted to end the show with the Monster Mash. But he also did say Damon is the king of cameo, the cameo king. So that's very true. Damon is the cameo king.
Matt Damon.
But he also said a few inappropriate things that I can't really put on there.
Put it on my tab.
Bill me. Put it on my tab.
Put it on my tab.
All right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for interacting only the way you do, Timmy.
Thanks for everything.
And he's filled with quotes. So he pulled out that random Ricky Bobby quote.
Yeah,
that's great.
He did. And we're in the punch drunk portion of the show here.
All right, we'll see you later.
It's intriguing. Stay classy. Stay classy, Planet Globe.
Peace out. We'll see you later. On Wednesday, MLB heavy, a little bit of football. Bye. You can find Sports and Sorts with Shane and the Bryman on iTunes or www.sportsandsorts.libsyn.com.